Oh no, no, non, non. Je t'invite de venir voir ma belle commune, mon île moderne.
Steven Gerrard, best player you've played against?
Zinedine Zidane.
What about in Europe?
Oh, listen then. I suppose that the toughest player I played against, of course, would have been Zidane. And he was that. He did play in the two midfield, but he had a good boy to get a goal. And what you say about Zidane against 6'1", 6'2", and he was nasty, very, very nasty.
He was brilliant. Obviously, you got to play with some amazing players in your career. But there must be one or two people that you wish you got to play with, maybe that were part of your generation or played before you or after you. And if there was one player you could have played with that you never got to, who would that be and why?
It's a tough one, that. Player who I played against, who I would have loved to have been on my team, was probably Zidane.
Yeah.
Just an elegant player, brilliant player, big physical player, 6'2", but just great touch, glides along the floor. So yeah, I would pick Zidane.
Okay.
Romario, Figo. For me, Gullit and Zidane.
Gullit?
There's another one.
Zidane, Messi.
Well, they've said Zidane, so I'll say Zidane.
Zidane was, couldn't get the ball off him. He was massive. He was physically strong, obviously technically good, mentality good. He was just the all-round. But it was the biggest surprise I've ever had on a football pitch. I actually wasn't even on the football pitch, lining up. We're lining up to go against him against Juventus. And I just stood next to him, he was just massive. I just thought, you'd see him on the telly and you just thought he wasn't that big. And just wasn't an over-physical player, but he just used his body in the right way and just, you couldn't get the ball off him.
His body was unbelievable. I mean, you'd go and try and get the ball off him and he'd always protect the ball.
Did you say that?
No, he'd always protect the ball on the opposite side and you could not get near the ball because of his size. And like Giggsy said, he was fantastic.
Zidane, I think, what's a player, played against him a lot of times. And, obviously it's very difficult to play against someone you can't get the ball off. You never know where he is, and to play with somebody like that would have been great. From the World Cup, it's been everything. We've been playing that unbelievable Madrid team, unbelievable Juventus team. If I had to choose somebody, it would be him.
Another player often compared with Zidane as well, who you played with, Paul Scholes. How would you compare Zidane and Scholes, both their qualities, their styles and their strengths?
It's really hard to separate the two of them because they're both quiet in character, but when you get them on the field, their talent is undeniable. You know, in both ways. And I was lucky enough to obviously grow up with Scholesy, and then I was lucky enough to then go on to Real Madrid and be able to play for 3 years with probably the best player that I've ever played with.
Who's 5-a-side team?
Schmeichel in goal, Zidane.
Ooh.
Wait, I didn't get none of that. You are mad.
Zizou, Messi, Brazilian Ronaldo, and myself.
This is the best player in the world.
I play with Zizou. You know, I can talk about him probably all day. You know, that's unbelievable what he can do.
What makes Zizou the best player that I've played with? I think his dedication to the game.
An old rival, a guy who I've got an unbelievable amount of respect for. A guy who has seen it all before, has won the lot, and without a shadow of a doubt, the best player that I ever played against.
No. Vale, ¿quién es el jugador rival más difícil al que te has enfrentado?
Defensor.
El que quieras, como si me dices mediocampista, uno que hayas dicho, es que este tío es muy bueno, muy bueno.
Zidane siempre me encantó.
Joder, sabía que lo ibas a decir. He visto alguna foto de, creo que es Mundial 2006, vuestra enfrentados en un partido y digo, es que ahí había mucha calidad.
No he tenido suerte de jugar con él.
Bueno, pero también ese es el encanto del fútbol, ¿no? Que los dos mejores futbolistas estuviesen en en equipos contrarios y yo creo que eso también es lo bonito, ¿no?
Sí, pero con él me encantaría haber jugado.
Qué pena.
Which of you just know a footballer can't control it? He can control it, look at this. This might be the greatest player I've ever seen, Zinedine Zidane.
As the finest player that I've ever seen in the modern era, Zinedine Zidane celebrates and cajoles the rest of this team onwards towards Berlin. They will play Portugal in Munich on Wednesday night. One last step. It hasn't been Ronaldinho's tournament. It may yet be his again.
Chi scegliereste nella squadra dei 5?
Dei 5?
È difficile, sì.
Sì, cioè se dovessi... Ma 5 con i quali ho giocato? Cioè 5 players that I played...
Tutto il mondo. You don't have to play with
them. Io sono molto amico dei difensori, perché sono quelli che mi proteggono e odio tanto gli attaccanti. Diciamo che i più forti contro i quali ho giocato sono sicuramente Ronaldo, quello brasiliano.
Fenomeno.
Sì. Messi e Cristiano Ronaldo. Questi sono i 3 e Zidane, mettiamo anche Zidane, ecco 4. Questi sono i 4 che giocherebbero in tutte le squadre.
Para nel mundo todo, yo creo que Zidane, en los últimos años, Zidane fue el jugador que más no parecía conmigo. Zico, en Brasil, después de 70, yo creo que el jugador único que llegó a aparecer, el tipo de juego tal, en Flamengo era Zico.
¿Quién es Messi, Rey?
Messi es un gran jugador que tiene personalidad. Aparte de eso que yo admiro en Messi, que aparte de un gran jugador que viene en estos últimos 5 años, primero nosotros tuvimos Zidane, no podemos olvidar de Zidane, y ahora Messi.
I had the opportunity to play against Zinedine Zidane, and he was one of the best players that I've ever seen. He was your teammate for a number of years with Real Madrid, but you also got to play with Raul and Ronaldo and Makelele, and then Steven Gerrard with Liverpool. Is Zidane the best of the best of the best?
Sí.
Yeah?
Sí, yo es el jugador más importante que he visto, no solo en los partidos, sino entrenando también. Un jugador excepcional, mucha calidad técnica y una gran persona también.
Yeah, no question.
No question.
No question.
No, después Raúl, Ronaldo, hay Beckham, hay muchos grandes jugadores con los que he jugado, pero el mejor sin duda Zinedine Zidane. Yo cuando tenía 18 o 17 años no tenía la suerte de tener esos profesores en el campo, ¿no?
Pero tenías a Catalí, macho, al lado, ¿no?
Sí, tenía grandes profesionales también, pero yo he estado con Zidane en el vestuario durante 2-3 años y yo he parado entrenamientos para aplaudirle. Yo, jugador de Primera División y del Real Madrid, he parado entrenamientos para aplaudirle y vosotros tenéis la suerte de...
Asabari so sakirira alako agade gabarika amasen agade nama afema sabari na kui idie alobori sabari fa sabari fa sabari fa de sabari fa sabari bigina mena gidunyara inanu sabari gade na luma yambada
Faina enfant, faina fin de risondoni savira Mbarankali, mama haya patumata Guinea nige fanyinira Ifanyira bane adama debe Barbore be Ireri manyon rone meribete singe rade be Hambeni ranya nige rade singe be Merieri, nere baramini dimi fore ora Ete dere yelanyito Ira fanyi sawira Kono, loro kiring Imusare marorema Yarabane, alare sarefi Fisabilillahi Sese rafan inima Ilana fima sererera Imufindi, yete masenyira Yete kwera Kono, ifindi Mirifanyina na Naramuna fanyina Adama debe Mamara ya Fatumata Nondinara Iroronu ito Akere mara Ina manimisa Ina memayon Febiri mara girina Alanana Inshallah Ira fanyisa wira Ifa mane sugandide Alara mirifanye yama Fanyi Ariel na tongo mandenara
anganana etiga fangisa we anganana induri yoto agombogi eriya handi asakema imanundi yoto afangi eriya handi angama eyo mama mama yo fatuyo alaka yafa ira morima alaka yafa ipapata modu una fande bankura Usmaneba alaka yafama inenu limania irade na yambama oh oh khajafatu yo wayo